If you're looking for Magic cards, look no further than Flipside Gaming. They have all the latest Magic singles and product that you need to actually leave the house and battle in Magic the Gathering. And right now, if you would like to save 10% on your orders from Flipside Gaming, use the promo code CGB at checkout. That is promo code CGB. Hello and welcome back to another day in the arena. It's me, it's CGB, and today on the limited edition, we're on the young CGB account. We've got enough to do a draft. We are doing Dominaria. I'm going to go ahead and refresh here. Ooh, a 750, a 500 turns into a 750. Excellent. So I want to do sealed at some point. 2,000 gems is a lot. We're going to have to really build up if we want to do a sealed. So, in free-to-play land, means we're sticking to draft for the time being. So, gold in, cards out. Well, we opened a Traxos. It's colorless. Usually for historic cards, you end up in white-black, if I remember Dominaria correctly, but I haven't done a lot of Dominaria draft, not even close. However, a 4-mana 7/7 trample just means that we need to focus on historic cards. It does push us into an archetype very hard, but it feels bomby to me. So let's go. Let's rock and roll. There were several other decent cards, and I'm not gonna overblow what to take. Right away here is a Skittering Surveyor, which can fix our mana as well as providing a historic trigger. Other interesting cards in the set. I mean the booster pack. Gitu Chronicler is a very good card, but probably in a different type of deck. Arcanist also goes in a different type of deck. There's sort of a Knights. Call the Cavalry is good. Grun is a legend and a very, very huge creature. I think that what keeps me the most open and keeps on my historic theme is the Skittering Surveyor, so I'm going to take that. This will hopefully let me see what colors I can get myself into. And we see an Elfhelm Druid. That's interesting. Then we have a Trapper, which is good with historic cards. This can get back an artifact if we kick it, which is interesting because we have 2 artifacts already. But I think I can wait for you. It's not much of a card. Sapling Migration's okay. The Compass will probably go much, much later and might fix our mana to do a lot of wild things. So, the Elfhelm Druid, I don't know if there's like green-white historic or green-black historic. The legendaries being historic are a lot of what makes the Traxos thing work, but I really like mana acceleration. I also really like the idea of tapping my opponent's things when I play these and getting in for damage. I think I'll go lean to white. Like I've said, the white-black is the traditional version of the historic deck. There we have a 3/2 flyer for 4, a Drudge Skeletal, a Confessor, a Soothsayer. We've passed plenty of good Thalids already. Diving into that doesn't sound very good. How good is a 4-mana 3/2 flyer? Well, we're kind of a beat-down deck as it is. And we already took a white card, so I'm going to take another. And there is another 4-drop. This one, a Call the Cavalry. There's also a Howling Golem, which triggers historic. And there is a Thalid Omnivore, which is a really good card for the Thalid archetype. It's just we're so far away from that archetype. I think I'll continue with my artificial theme and grab a Howling Golem. A Call the Cavalry is good, but it's another 4-drop. And we're really early in the draft for that. Final Parting. Search your library for 2 cards, one in your hand, the other in your graveyard, then shuffle. There are always people who think that there's a lot of good reasons to play tutors. Tutors aren't that good. Dark Bargain's nice though. Look at my top 3. Put 2 of them in the put 2 of them in the hand, 1 in the graveyard, 2 damage to me. There's also a 2-drop in the Honor Guard, which will work with the legendary mechanic if we get it going. And I'll keep to that. Rat Colony, get your memes out. And I'll grab the Elephant now, which might help us get back some of these artifacts. Guardians. When it enters the battlefield, you return another historic permanent you control to owner's hand. Combo with the Surveyor. Not much else, though. And there's a Syncopate hanging out, which is probably the best card in the pack, and I really want it for my collection. I think that's better than grabbing a Guardian, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's something else I'm going to be missing. There are a lot of triggers you can get with the Guardian. Alright, I'll take the Guardian because I'm really not sure how this is shaping up. The Tragic Poet. No enchantments yet, so I could grab the Compass, which does work with everything else here. I just don't know if it will make the cut. So it's generally a weak card. And now we're down to things I can't really use, but I'll take the Sage. I doubt I would ever play this card, but maybe we'll end up in blue-white. Another Elephant comes around. I'll take an Adventurous Impulse as the most playable standard card here. Healing Grace, sure. And the Final Parting. So you can see not that much love for Final Parting, even from the bots. Wait, yeah. Oh, there, sideboard. That's what I meant to do. All right. Antiquities War. Wow, suddenly our artifact deck is really coming together. And I think that's automatic. Yargle's here, but Yargle's not getting picked just yet. It is a legendary creature, which is historic, which is a historic trigger, but I'm going with the War. And I think we're going to blue-white artifacts now. First Eruption. No, not so much. The Knight of New Benalia is a 3/1 for 2. I think a Gideon's Reproach, a removal spell, is called for here. Eventually we might want the Candle, but not yet. Cast Down's a very good removal spell, but I don't have any playable black cards, so I'll grab the Reproach. Never mind. We just found a playable black card. Give me back that Cast Down right now. And there's a Knight of Malice. Ah, sweet. Scriptures, you're in. The blue, we're probably looking at Esper, so now I really want some. Well, I have a Navigator's Compass, but we probably are looking for lands that move us in Esper to help the mana. Cloudbreather's Sphinx is an excellent card if we're going to stick with some blue. There's nothing good in white, and there's nothing good in black. I mean, I know that there's Omnivore, but this is a different deck, I think. So I'll take the Sphinx. Sorcerer's Wand. 1 damage to a player or planeswalker if it's equipped to a wizard 2 instead. Well, I don't have any wizards. It's an artifact, which works with some other things we have going, but I don't think it's right. The Skin Witch, though, it's not very nice kicked, or a 1/3. This says whenever you cast a historic spell, 2 damage to each opponent. More historic triggers. Could be really good. And I'm willing to take a chance on it because we're definitely going in for historic cards. Damping Sphere is historic, but is not actually good. Whenever a land is tapped for 2 or more mana, it produces colorless. Yeah, not really. Hoses, Gift of Paradise. Fungal Infection, a cheap little interaction spell. An Arcanist plays sorceries, but we're on the enchantment plan now. I think what I want is the... Man, do I want a Candle? Or do I just want a little Sparring Construct for as many tiny artifacts as I can possibly get? I think I can do better than both of these. Fungal Infection's fine, and might be a good enough combat trick somewhere. I'll grab it. Memorial to Genius. This isn't very good. This isn't very good for the deck I have. I believe I passed you before. No, I already have another one of you. Although it can create a lot of triggers. I just don't have that many things I want to return right now. So I suppose the Memorial to Genius just to have a little more late game punch. And there's a Voltaic Servant, which is very good because having some 2-drops is great. A Power Stone Shard is certainly interesting, but I think ramping to 5, I do have some 5-drops, but I think I'd rather just take the Servant and keep having creatures in as my artifacts, since just having some bodies on the board is a big deal. Do I want a 1/1 flying where I cast a historic? I scry. Not that much. I think I like either Unwind or Befuddle a lot more. I don't think I'll actually end up playing Unwind, but Befuddle I might. It's not, I don't have much removal. No, it just seems like a really expensive combat trick that doesn't work with anything I have. At least the Artificer's Assistant does. And now we've got a Scholar, which is a 2/3 wizard, a Divest, which grabs an artifact or creature, and a Podic Wanderer. More historic spells. Let's start looking at the deck this way. Probably not running you. Not really into tricks of that nature. I'm probably only running 1 elephant if I'm running any. Seems like a bit much. I don't even know if this sentry will make the cut, as good as a flyer is. The Sage of Latinam drawing a card for sacrificing an artifact might actually turn out okay, considering that we're going to try to play a lot of artifacts, but I don't have that many. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I am still looking for more artifacts. We don't have legendaries except for Traxos, so you may not quite make it. And the Artificer's Assistant Fungal Infection. So yeah, I'm gonna start really nabbing on artifacts. Ooh, the Rising Deep. If it was kicked, return all creatures to their owner's hand except for Merfolk, Krakens, Leviathans, Octopuses, and Servants. What do you think? Can we get to 10 mana? No, we can't. Don't get excited. I'll grab the Shard instead. And I suppose a Drudge Sentinel. None of these are anything to keep around. And a Feral Abomination and another Drudge Sentinel. I think that those are both pretty bad cards that we don't really need. Feral Abomination as a super expensive death touch isn't good. Joda. Well, the rares we've hit haven't been the greatest, that's for sure. So we've got an interesting pick here. Board the Weatherlight is only good in our type of deck and might come back around. Fight with Fire, of course, is amazing and very splashable and a first pick all day, but we are in pack 3, and getting into red here all of a sudden just doesn't seem that good. We could play we have a Skittering Surveyor, we have a Navigator's Compass. I'm saying we could do it. Do we want to? It might just be a case where we should. There's another Cloud Reader Sphinx. I don't really think I need that. A Tragic Poet is excellent at getting back Phyrexian Scriptures, but I'm going to hope it comes around. Sergeant of Arms is okay. Very expensive for what it does. Blessed Light is pretty excellent and should probably be added to the deck. Homerite Explorer, not so much. But Fight with Fire, okay. Getting red into this pile when we're already a 3-color deck seems so insane. So I guess I'm going to have to pass a Fight with Fire. What do I take? The Sphinx or the Blessed Light? I think it's the Blessed Light. More removal. What is our creature count like? Can we see it? No, we can't. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Being very generous. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So I mean, we have bodies. I will take the Blessed Light. Write a Belzenlock. Create, it is historic. Create 2 tokens, create a 6/6, and you have to sacrifice a thing. Does it fly? It does. It's a Flample. It's a pretty good creature. We also have a Knight of Grace, which is probably a little bit better. Another Cabal Paladin, but I think we've got enough going on for that. Macy Unicorn's okay. So, do we take the rare, the Rite of Belzenlock, and just pile on the Saga Train? Or do we take a really solid, excellent 2-drop in Knight of Grace? I feel like I take the Knight of Grace. But God, that doesn't feel right. Gosh, my gut is so torn. I'm not really sure. But yeah, so far what I've played against in draft, especially in the early days of my rank, has been very, very aggressive decks. And I think that having a Knight of Grace to hold off just a plethora of tiny red creatures is a good way to go. Tell me what you would have done with that pick, if I'm crazy or not. Another Honor Guard, which we're not really doing the legendary thing. Memorial to Folly, which is a really excellent land for grinding. I think I like the Memorial to Folly. I'm not a fan of Chainer's Torment. So, come here, Memorial to Folly. Help that mana base out. Another Navigator's Compass. Is this the kind of deck where we want 2 of those? There's also Deep Freeze. There's also... I mean, none of these are very good. So I'm looking at Navigator's Compass a lot earlier than I think I should have to. A Dub, which I just don't see that being a thing for me. A Deep Freeze, which turning something into an 0/4 is a lot better when you're all flyers, but I'm not all flyers. And I don't have a lot of other enchantment play. Okay, I'm grabbing Compass number 2, and it's not that good of a card, believe me. But there's a Tragic Poet. Now, should I draft it this high? We are in pack 3. Another one could show up, but having a Tragic Poet to get back a Phyrexian Scriptures or an Antiquities War is so good. So, yep, let's do it. Another Voltaic Servant, a Knight of New Benalia. So it's either a Voltaic Servant number 2, which, by the way, Trexos combo, or it's a Bloodflow Candle, which is a removal spell that is an artifact. It just costs a ridiculous amount of mana. I'll stick with the Servant. Come on in, buddy. 2 of you. I hope that a 1/3 is working, is good. Hello? What happened? Why is it over here? Switch layout? What happened? It's stuck in limbo. Anybody ever seen this before? Well, I didn't get 2 picks. I couldn't pick the Servant. Well, I guess we know what the game decided was going to happen to me. Moving on. I suppose we can take an Opt. We could take another Sage. I don't like the Assistant or the Sage that much. I could take this for my token deck, but most token decks don't even run this card. So I suppose an Opt is the pick. We have right now the only blue cards are this Cloud Rage Sphinx and this Antiquities War that I have to play. Looking around, more rat colonies. The deck we could have had, right? Diligent Excavator. You can mill somebody for 2. Do we want to mill? I mean, we might just mill the opponent. Alternate win cons. These games can go very long, and it's a 1/3. I don't know. The board, the Weatherlight comes back around, and so does a Tragic Poet, and I think it's one of the 2. Multiple Tragic Poets going with these sagas could be really something, but you just don't want to draw too many and draw no sagas. I think 1 is good, but 2, bad. I'll grab Board the Weatherlight to get that Phyrexian Scriptures. Here's Shield of the Realm. Is that a card? It's better than anything else here. Wait, another Cabal Paladin. Wow. And a Mammoth Spider comes all the way around. Crikey. Crikey. Give me that. Put that right in my sideboard, thank you. A little bit of lifelink, a little bit of vigor. When it dies, return that card to owner's hand. Is there something on here I'm just like, does that just create an endless sort of loop with Tragic Poet? No. You have to sacrifice the poet to get it back. What a stupid idea I just had. All right. Then I don't think it really matters. I'll grab the Tolarian Scholar and a Vigor and a Prospector. And let's go build a deck. So right away, Prospector, you can go. The Artificer's Assistant and the Opt can go. The Vigor can go. I'm trying to get rid of I'm trying to keep my splashes so that I don't need the cards until much later in the game. So Antiquities War, Cabal Paladin, Phyrexian Scriptures, if those are all the cards I splash and everything else early is white, I'm less likely to get mana screwed. I might keep a Fungal Infection though. I'm not sure how great it is in the format, but I have run into a lot of cheap, aggressive, I hesitate to say bad, but they're just hordes of little dumb critters, and that seems to be what most people at this level of draft, as I'm getting started, are playing. And I've lost to it too, which is maybe they're just on the next level and I'm the fool. So let's get rid of the Feral Abomination. It's really expensive. It's a lot of 4s. Historic triggers for days though. So, looking forward to all of that. 2 Navigator's Compass to fix up the mana. A Fungal Infection very early. A Tragic Poet. Is this is this any good? It's not like we have a lot of legendaries. Is just having a 2/2 on the board good? Yeah, we were talking about all that weird junk I've been playing against. So, maybe in the 4s... Even Sentry not triggering anything isn't really what we want. And in the 5s, maybe a Partick Wanderer isn't really what we need, but basically Antiquities War actually shrinks the Partick Wanderer. You gotta really want your triggers, I guess. 1, 2, 3. Let's count up our historic triggers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, possibly 11, 12. Yeah, we've got a lot of triggers. So does that mean I can cut the Wanderer? Or should I cut one of my compasses? Because drawing 2 is never that great. And I don't know. I kind of really like it, because once you get out the Cabal Paladin, the gain and drain from this is pretty impressive. But I really don't think I want more than 1, ever. So that's what we can do. Then we go down here, we have some Memorial to Folly, we have Swamps, we have 3 blue sources, and we have Skittering Surveyor to help with that. We have double black for Scriptures, which is a concern, but we have 6 sources, and we have 7 if you count the Compass, which I think makes sense. And then 8, possibly, if we use the Skittering Surveyor to get a black source. And then 8 white sources, because we always need to have one of those early. But we don't have any double white cards, so I think we're okay. Is this like an 18 land deck for any reason? No, we have a Power Stone Shard. We have a Skittering Surveyor. We should be able to land. Land should be happening. All right, let's rock and roll. I don't know if this is a very good hand, but in limited, it's much more like you keep some lands, you keep some spells, you do your thing, right? Let's see where it goes. Black man off the top, never punished. Play that poet. Macy Unicorn. Off to the races. Let's board the Weatherlight. Historic cards. Look at all those choices. Holy cow. So none of them, though, get me my second black after I drew the oh-so-awesome Scriptures. But I'll grab a Howling Golem. think that's better than grabbing the candle. Or the servant. Well, what'd I say? Just suit up and go, right? Let's see, it's 4-3 what? Menace? Okay. I could try to ambush it with a fungal infection. I'm playing into quite the trap if I double block. Well, since the historic trigger, like tapping this down, isn't going to quite be the thing, I think what I do is play out the Howling Golem and see if my opponent will charge into this board. Everything's a bit loud today. Oh, explains a lot. See if we can take that down again. Sorry if that was bothering anybody. In fact, now I'm looking at the levels, maybe around here. Okay, that'll probably go a little better. I'll check it afterwards. Sorry for the inconvenience to anyone. Our opponent did hold back. That reveals some information. And they also played another creature instead of attacking, which reveals that they are, 1, short on mana, 2, don't have another combat trick. Let's put out the Paladin. Get those historic triggers. There was also a case for holding up the fungal infection. Okay. Just you. What do you say? We could block with everybody. Then any kind of removal spell, I think, would get beat. So if the opponent has... What is in this set? Sure Strike? You have to know every combat trick to play these, right? So that would be quite the mess. Let's see what happens. I'm willing to take risks. I don't remember all the combat steps from these draft formats because I haven't played them before. Yay, cards. Black sources indeed. So, no trick. Just wanted to get that part of the game out of the way. I'm down with that. And a Sarah's Disciple, flying whenever you cast a historic spell, +1/+1 until end of turn. Let's get out our Trappa. And let's send in the Howling Golem. Yay for cards. Everybody loves cards. There's a card. Traxos. And the opponent will take that. And we'll say go. Pegasus Courser. Okay. 1/3 flying, that gives another thing flying. I wish I had rounded up one of those. Oh, that's quite the attack. So, we can kill the Honor Guard or the Disciple. I like killing the Disciple, I think. Although Pegasus Courser giving this flying is one way that we could lose. So, yeah, I'll go over here. Let the Disciple hang out and be a 1/1. So, block there, eat Honor Guard. And now, my friends, what we came to see. Tap that down. Hiya! Another land, so we can hit that land drop. Set up that Partic Wanderer. Untap Traxos with a 5/5 trample. Keep the party going. Build our little artifact army, and then use scriptures to just smash, smash, and smash. Actually, maybe the play next turn will be Surveyor to get another land, and then scriptures putting a counter on the Trapper. Ooh. Oh, so brutal. Well, Now, Warcry Phoenix probably encourages that because the opponent's going all into this airborne attack plan. 7, 8, 9, 12, 13 damage is what we represent. There's a Blessed Light off the top. I wonder if there's even a case at all for holding back on with Blessed Light. But I don't think so. I think we're doing that thing I talked about. Tap, nothing. And I guess I'll get another black. I don't think any of it matters now that we have what we have. Play that. Play Scriptures. We'll put a counter on our Trapper, making it an artifact so it will survive the apocalypse. And we'll get in there. And now the opponent has to kill us. Can they do it? They currently have a 4-point attack. Maybe they have something like a Trumpet Blast to add 9 damage to it. Moments like this make me wish I'd left the other Navigator's Compass in there. As clearly a Partick Wanderer would be overkill, but another Navigator's Compass could give us a nice life total buffer. Reading the Scriptures. It's not good. You won't enjoy it. Your things are going to die. When you attack with 3 or more creatures, 2 in red to return from the graveyard to the battlefield, tapped and attacking. Here is an Overseer. It has haste. It is a 3-1, but they were unable to kick it. And a Frenzied Rage is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now remember, they can give flying to the Overseer, although can't block it anyway because of that menace. And we go to 2 life. But from here, all their things will die. And we do have the Partick Wanderer for the historic trigger to untap Traxos. And that's the game. All 3 colors. An early removal spell in the Reproach, a 4 and a 5. I think it's a keeper. Because we have historic triggers in the deck, holding the Candle is often the right play, I'm guessing. That we don't really want to play it till we're at least a turn or 2 away from using it, because it can untap a Traxos. Or tap down a creature with the Trapper, or drain some life with the Paladin. Oh, that's rude. And they know about Gideon's Reproach, which means they can play around it. It's very rude. They make me discard the Sphinx, then they read it. Yes, got it. You did it. They don't know about the Trapper. Stack some things. They don't know about this side, they do know about this side. Okay, red and white. Probably going to die, but let's send it to the doom. Let's go, Katniss. Me and Katniss here. Gonna take it. You got this the whole way. You might want to put a tip on that arrow, though. Just saying. I mean, hey, you do your thing. I just like, maybe they're those exploding arrows that take down giant, like, drones in the Hunger Games. Wow, they play a 1-1 menace instead of trying to wait for one more land to make it a 3-3. It's kind of amazing to me. Is it to ambush my Trapper? Let's go find out. Here's a block. Damage. So they must have a way to deal 1 damage to this. So be it. Never really liked you anyway. No? That was just a Chumperino. All right. And our opponent reveals that they are, in fact, a Mardu mage. Let's see what they're doing with all that color. A 2-headed giant. You're in for a treat. Friends, whenever a 2-headed giant attacks, flip 2 coins. If both coins come up heads, 2-headed giant gains double strike. If both coins come up tails, it gains menace. If nothing, then nothing. Well, we got this sweet candle, so this candle's going to do some work right here. Please tap that, do 2 damage to the opponent, and get busy. Also, if the opponent does attack me, I can Gideon's Reproach the 2-headed giant. We also have the sort of combo with the Excavation Elephant and the candle. We can, if we draw another land, we can sack the candle to kill something. Then if we draw another land, we can kick the elephant and get the candle back. Well, there you go. A double strike. Creatures you control first strike have double strike. Not exactly a combo with 2-headed giant, as it gains double strike anyway if you hit the coins right. But this has double strike itself, which could be a pain. That is not a historic trigger, which is something we need. Oh, this is interesting. So, on one hand, I can go digging for a historic card, which I'm pretty likely to hit. If I do hit, I can tap 1 thing. Or I can count on Gideon's Reproach. My attacks aren't great anyway. I think I should probably build up and get a historic card in my hand, and the next turn I can play an artifact and use a Gideon's Reproach potentially. I don't think I need to be in a rush. I've got a life advantage. I've got sort of a way to burn my opponent, and there's Traxos. Well, do you take Traxos without any other historic triggers available? Or do you put it on the bottom? I think rather than put Traxos on the bottom, I'm going to take Skittering Surveyor. That will shuffle Traxos back into the deck, and then I can use my candle next turn, as well as get this trigger. Now, do I want the trigger next turn or this turn? I guess I'll take it now. So, tap you. Take 2. Take action. Get me another white sauce. Play that. Still not really thinking attacks here. Trading the Paladin when my opponent's at 9 and I have a lot of historic cards isn't a good move. And my opponent's going to have a hard time going on the offensive because my counterattack can be nasty. Warcry Phoenix. Everybody's favorite, apparently. Warlord's Fury. Everybody gains first strike. Combo achieved. Whoa. I mean... Okay, the coin flips, we got to see it. Doesn't do much. This doesn't have trample. It does have double strike. This has double strike, so it hits for 4. This has double strike, so it hits for 4. So we could take 8 here. Our opponent's at 9. Looking around. Do I have a way to kill them? If I draw a historic card, I win. So let's lock away the Surveyor here. And all that double strike does add up. We don't draw the historic card. We can play the Elephant to get the Surveyor back. And then the opponent, if they don't kill the Paladin, they lose. But is that a good play? What if our opponent has another Warlord's Fury type effect? I'm going to need to remove stuff. So I think what I do here is attack. Get my opponent to 2 life. Pass the turn. wait on just some historic card and leave open Gideon's Reproach, Blessed Light, the Candle as well. There's a Compass. That gains a little life. That's might be a big deal. And let's see how they want to handle attacking. Leaving back one creature. Okay. Even with the Candle on the field. It's interesting. Just you. Well, we could simply sacrifice it. That way, if we draw any land, we can Elephant and then replay the Candle. Drains for 2, taps a thing. Attack with both could be lethal. Or we could just take the damage and use the Candle on the Giant or the Pride, and then it is almost certainly lethal. So I go to 10. Haven Sentry is the play. 3/2 flyer. All right. Let's fire away on... I guess if I take the flyers down... This is the special ability critter. Everything hits everything. I'll take the flyer down. Not historic. So let's play a Blessed Light. Exile, attack for lethal, has to block, kill that. Then our opponent's on Phoenix and top deck. Seems pretty good. Whenever it attacks. Okay, so it doesn't matter which one we target. Here we come. Here's the Reproach. Still 1 mana short of using the Elephant to get back the Candle and then using it to get the trigger to win the game, but putting the opponent back at 2 does mean we're still a land draw away regardless of what happens on the battlefield. I'm thinking of like a Sergeant at Arms that could gum the battlefield up. And now the opponent can't attack. To do so would be suicide. That's not a land, but maybe we can find a historic card with it. Oh, it is a historic card. I'm a fool. I forget things. Those of you who have drafted Dominaria a million times, go easy on me. One land only, we got one land only. I suppose we'll try it. More land, please. Land or nothing. Considering I think we have like 19 things that do mana things. Okay, cool. Folly, folly. Let's see if that fungal infection comes up. Arcanist. It's a good one. Let's put down our 2/2. Hold on to the Servant. We have historic triggers. But this is kind of a... So far this looks like the junk of our deck. The absolute trash pile that sealed can be, or limited can be sometimes. Oh, you want some of this, huh? What you got? I don't know what like a ping type effect is here, but I do think I know a bluff when I see one. And it's a 2/2. All right. Whenever you cast a spell that was kicked, +1/+1 in menace. Well, I could try a fungal infection on that. Seems like a good turn, but I'd rather get at the Trapper online. Then we can start getting triggers with our Voltaic Servant and such. Katniss and President Coin, ready to rock and roll. Okay, Shivan Fire it is. Good choice. That is definitely a Shivan Fireable card. Academy Journey Mage, bounce something, draw a card. No, just bounce something. 3-2. Brutal. Alright, we did draw another land. It's good news. Let's keep making a mess of this board. Our opponent has a 3-2 that could be attacking. Do they know anything else about our hand? No, not really. I suppose keeping a Gideon's Reproach available is fine. But the Servant also dissuades some amount of attacking in its own way. I'd rather have things on the board. Behold, Partic Wanderer doing absolute nothing again. Arrgh. Man, people love the Phoenix. I'm just noticing that again and again. That's a lot of attack. And this is a pretty easy block. So our opponent's feeling really frisky. I think we can hold them off okay, though. But yeah, I threw away the Arcanist to get a little more damage in. I think with these cards, though, I'm going to be okay. And the opponent is... They're out of gas. So they took a super aggressive line. I could play the 4-2. Do I do that, or do I mess with their attacks? I think I'll play you out, because then we can really punish the opponent if they stay as aggressive as they have been. And let's get in with the Servant, and then untap the Servant. So, sort of a vigilance effect. I'm definitely at a stage where perhaps I would trade with the Journey Mage, but looks like the opponent drew something. Some aura. Something nasty. They have to touch all the creatures. That's usually a bad sign. Oh, Adelise. Okay, dokie. More flying beats. Down to 6, probably. If the Journey Mage comes in, it's an easy block, so I wouldn't do that. Ooh, a flyer I can't play. Depressing. Fungal Infection doesn't do much in the air, though. If the opponent blocked this in any way, I could trade with a something. If they double blocked it, I guess I'd still get the Journey Mage for the 1-3, which is pretty good. But I'm going to want that 1-3 if I draw Traxos. Alright, so if the opponent attacks with everybody, if they draw a spell, I'm in huge trouble. There's not much to be said. But if they attack with everybody, I can block... say this, Fungal Infect it, then put a 1-1 and a 1-3 in front of this, and that handles the ground. We've got to start clocking the opponent somehow. I may as well send the big one and see how the opponent wishes to do this. If they block with both, I kill both. They take the damage. Okay, makes sense. But yeah, we've got to get going. We're in a bad way. Man, with this, if this were Navigator's Compass, which was kind of the final decision in deck building, it would have been so much better so many times now. Learn your lessons. Here comes trouble. And these not attacking means they don't have an instant. So let's go with a Gideon's Reproach. Right there. Get that out of there. Down to 4. And my turn. Scriptures I can't cast. Ah! This is getting nasty. Keep coming. Here's a block. Let's go for that Fungal Infection. But still a lot of life here, and a Warcry Phoenix I can't quite deal with. I need to draw land. It's possible I should have just used the Fungal Infection to try to buy another turn against the Phoenix. I hate that, but it's possible that's the truth. The Chronicler kicked. What are we getting? What are we getting? A Shivan Fire. And a land off the top. It will play the Cloud Reader Sphinx, but the Shivan Fire can kill it. It's a turn too late. And there's a Blessed Light. We just have to hope our opponent doesn't see the line. And if I had saved the fungal infection and instead used it here on the Phoenix, we could have bought one more turn, which could have been enough. So, bit of a misplay. And our opponent just barely gets there. Okay, we'll try it. We got our Navigator's Compass, by God. But I'm going to lead on the Memorial to Genius. Saving Compass till later is a good idea, just so that we have those triggers. Of course, we have a way to return it with the Guardian, but that doesn't mean we should play it without doing something, without causing some kind of a trigger. Behold, a staring match. All right, now we will play it. Because we have a Paladin to cast, and we don't have a black mana source. Here comes a Sapper. Make it black. Play our Paladin. And another land. Next turn we can use Guardians of Koilos, return the Compass, play it for another 3 life, trigger the Paladin, have a 4/4. Basically, an incredible combo deck. Little limited synergies. Rather adorable. So, red-green, what you up to? I know there's not Convoke. Journey Mage. It's 3 mana for a 3/2 without another wizard in play, which is just very, very vanilla. Vanilla okay. The opponent doesn't send an attack. Okay. Well, let's use the Guardians here. 2 damage to ya. Return this to my hand. Take action. I could hold it and hope I draw Trapper, but the tilt factor is just too good. And besides, there are plenty of cards that would make me replay it anyway in the deck. And then we'll pass the turn. 4 damage. A 4/4 creature, all this life. And down goes the Paladin, but fortunately we got to sort of combo off there for a hot minute. I'm definitely down to letting the Guardian die because I can get it back with the Elephant, but I need 1 more land first. I have 6 with the Power Stone Shard. Well, there's something I can't really use. I wonder if I should blow up this Memorial to Genius. Feels like I should. Use the Compass to make something produce blue. Sack, tap the land, sack the Memorial, draw the cards. There is another black source, which can set us up for those sweet scriptures. But now we're down a blue source, but Navigator's Compass should be able to play any blue card in the deck, since none of them are double blue in the cost. It's only Phyrexian Scriptures that's a double cost splasher. And for good reason. Such a powerful effect, and this board is not going to enjoy this. So, target this, make it tap for black, play Phyrexian Scriptures. We could have resolved Traxos too, but I'm down with waiting on Traxos at this point. Because now we get to blow up our opponent's board, and we still have an Elephant to get back something. An artifact that dies. I assume they'll have to deal with the Guardian somehow, and they do. Fire Intervention. So now we can get the Guardian back with the Elephant and use the Guardian to untap Traxos twice. And all your stuff, yes, you knocked us to 16, but now all your stuff dies. By the way, they play blue. What do you suppose is worth splashing in blue? All right, let's make some tracks. Let's do this. And we can untap him right away with our Howling Golem. And I wonder if the opponent has more Fiery Intervention. Even if they do, the elephant's ready to go. It's a lot of damage. Opponent's also looking in their graveyard. If you have anything that uses the graveyard, you need it now. Ah, a Tatiova. Good choice. That is a good thing for blue. Exile your graveyard. So we can exile Tatiova. We can also Bloodflow Candle Tatiova, which is expensive and our whole turn, but it works. It could also untap Traxos, or I could get an extra 2 damage in with the Golem. At this point, I don't think I want my opponent to draw extra answers anyway, but I could also attack with the Golem as a bluff. Would the opponent take that bluff? They might really value their Tatiova. Besides, I could also draw a Fungal Infection. I don't think I risk it. I think that the right play is to swing with the Traxos and then play the Candle. Just to keep Traxos always untapped, always dealing big damage. Bam! Here comes the Candle. There goes the Tatiova. Seventh land. 7 mana, still a little ways away from a huge fight with fire. But getting warmer. Oh no. The Overseer, but our opponent doesn't have a red mana to kick it. So if they had 1 more red mana, they could steal Traxos. But they don't have the right mana. The cruel, cruel irony. The brutal world we live in. If I had another historic thing, I could tap your thing. How about if I just exile it? Well, I guess the trade with Howling Golem is what it is. At this point, how do I untap the Traxos? I can get back the Candle. 7 mana. It's okay, I don't need to attack with it until next turn. Okay, then I actually should get back the Guardian, who can return a Navigator Compass. And basically create infinite Traxos activations. Not infinite, of course, but you get my drift. Trample. They must have a trick. What do they have? What do you have? The Growth. That makes it a 7/5. Well, time for that sweet, sweet instant speed blessed light. Hiya! And I'll play out a trap or 2. Well, I have to produce some white mana. Katniss, here to oversee the giant machine finishing the job. This actually reminds me of, I think it's Brawn is the creature in the battering ram in Lord of the Rings. Whoa, something's happening. Suddenly the whole hand comes alive. With the drawing of white mana, Shalai takes to the field. Keldon Warcaller is hexproof, and Broken Bond destroys the artifact. What just happened? We were getting slow rolled. Anyway, Excavation Elephant can bring Traxos back if we need it, and we have Voltaic Servant now. We can also tap the Shalai here and attack with both, and we win. So let's do that. Overthinking it a little. Can't help myself. And that's the game. But man, my opponent suddenly exploded that turn. I guess they were pretty constrained by mana with all the neat things they could do, and Traxos was too much. We have a lot of our colors and very expensive cards. We are on the draw. I'm going to keep it and hope that the top of the deck is kind. And that the opponent's start isn't that aggressive. Full control mode. Just straight up full control mode on turn 1. Somebody came straight over from Magic Online. Here you go. Observe my nothing. I can do this all day. Sarah's Disciple comes down. Swinging for that sweet point of damage. Wish I had one of these, to be honest. Memorial to Genius. Sure. All land off the top so far. No new spells. Fortunately, my opponent is down with this super slow-mo. And there's a Stronghold Confessor. It will have to be dealt with somehow. There's a candle. Do I play that here? I may need to, because I don't have anything else to play for 1. And I may need a removal spell on 6 the way this is going. I may need to go Blessed Light into Candle. Playing blockers is probably not good enough. The beating continue. There's a Knight of Grace. I think better though to rely on removal spells than blockers. And with our opponent playing carefully, maybe they think that we're some kind of a Cleansing Nova shenanigans. I wish. Or was that an M19? I don't know. We are Phyrexian Scriptures. Our opponent's burning the timer. Now what? Dark Bargain? No? Interesting. Here comes attackers. Memorial to Folly. Let's fire up Blessed Light and exile the Confessor. It's the only real clock we're dealing with. Deep in thought on this one. Whether or not to play a creature or what, I don't know. Maybe they have an artifact removal spell and they're thinking about whether or not to use it on the candle, how important that is. Alright. Well, if that's the case, we'll put out this Wanderer and give them a real target. But I do expect bad things to happen to our Wanderer friend. Invoke the Divine, yep. There you go. But now we got a good elephant target, don't we? The empty one. Okay. Whenever it deals player damage to me, discard a card at random, and if I can't, the opponent draws a card. Well, that's a pretty easy candle target. Our opponent has a Memorial to Folly to get it back, but it is what it is. Let's kill that before some kind of a pump spell comes online. Then we probably want to hold extra lands at some point, just so that we can discard lands to this, so that our opponent doesn't draw cards from it, because I'm sure they'll get it back with Memorial to Folly. The good news for me is that buys another turn, and they have to find another land. Okay, Aven Sentry, more flyers. Flyer, flyer, flyer. You're starting to look bad, Knight of Grace. What's up with you? You were supposed to block things. You're not even on the board. On turn like a million. That's interesting. Let's see if we can go find Phyrexian Scriptures. Tick-tock. Drew Miller's a thinker. No, all we get is Traxos, but at least we're closer to Scriptures. So down you come. Here's a knight. Full control mode. Super serious limited master, Drew Miller. Yes, there you go. That's a nice historic card. Down to 5 here, and dead to another historic permanent. We need to draw the right things. Are you the right things? I don't think you're the right things. I could try to draw into a Navigator's Compass. Or I could go get the candle, play that, go to 1, and still be dead, unless I draw, like, fungal infection. I could, by sacking Memorial here, I could draw fungal infection or Navigator's Compass, but I'm very far from being sure that I can untap Traxos. Whereas if I get the candle, my opponent has to have an historic permanent to win. What's better? A draw for 2 cards in the whole deck, or forcing my opponent to have a historic permanent? Well, we need, like, the candle or some removal spell in the top 2 anyway, so I think I'm better to force my opponent to have it. So, here we go. Give me that. We got a 3-2, a 3-5. I guess we do have to do some attacking in order for this to work out anyway. Cross your fingers. And another land. And we might need every single land, so we're playing them out, despite what I said earlier about holding them for the empty one. I mean... maybe they have a cast down or something, but they've been holding priority since they had 1 black mana on the very first turn with nothing on the battlefield. So it's clear that they are like setting Magic Online style stops on things. All right, looks like going to 1. We've got the candle. We need to draw Navigator's Compass. That'll do. That will do. All right, pass. I'm sure the opponent can make a knight here. And this eventually will take over the game anyway, as we have to keep up with a lot of knights. All right, here is Gideon's Reproach. I'll go for the 1/1. Just in case there's a pump spell, but it wouldn't even make sense that if they'd still had one. And here's the candle. I think the best play my opponent can make from the spot is Memorial of Folly, getting back one of the flyers and replaying it right away so that I'm back on an equally pressured clock. But they don't do that. So I guess I'm grateful. Don't really have anything I wish to return. I just need the trigger and to untap Traxos here. Let's see, if you make a knight, you can't also use the kill ability, so we'll play you. And you. And we'll tap you, make you use it in response. Another night, another dream, but always you. All right. So I don't want to return anything. When it says you may, so we'll decline the activation. All right. So I don't want to die to 1 removal spell. Although I'm on really thin ice anyway, maybe I'm supposed to take a risk that my opponent just lacks those things. Traxos, you should certainly attack. We could hold everybody else. Maybe that's smart. If we send in the knight, it could be double blocked, but that would take something off the battlefield. The 3/5, though, they can't deal with. All right. I think we do need to be a bit aggressive. Just got to do it. Yeah, we're dead if the opponent draws good stuff. I think that that's the case no matter what. Okay. Getting a knight off the board is just fine as long as one actually dies. Let's find out. Fungal infection. Okay. That creates a 1/1, so we're in the same boat. We're in the same boat. Everything still needs to block if the opponent attacks. The blocks aren't bad, but if the opponent can remove one creature, they will be the victor. If they had gotten back a flyer, they would have won. And we're definitely at the point where cracking Memorial to Genius is becoming the last hope if we make it out of this turn alive. Wow. Let's see if they remember how to attack with all their creatures. Yeah, they do. I'll try it. Why not? Boarding the Weatherlight, reproaching, a Guardian's doing nothing. It's classic, this deck. Actually, I've liked the Guardians. You've heard me talk about the Navigator Compass thing. There aren't a lot of other changes I think I'd make with the card pool, but feel free to tell me what you'd do with it. What you would have done differently. Stronghold as a black source in a 2-color deck. That seems really sketchy. Let's go board the Weatherlight, shall we? Never mind. Nobody will get on board this Weatherlight. Whiffles. Pure whiff. Not good. Not cool. Yeah, even put our Blessed Light on the bottom, and our Cloud Reader Sphinx, which we didn't have a blue source for, but sucks that they are now at the bottom. We'll need our Skittering Surveyor, our huge second pick Skittering Surveyor, to shuffle this deck. I'm also curious what you out there watching the video think. Please, in comments, I'd like to know. Do you find the pace of play in Draft in Limited to be a lot slower? I'm no speed demon in Limited myself, but I do find it oftentimes very slow. I'm curious if my viewers have similar experiences. Well, I could drop Traxos. Then I could Guardians back my Howling Golem and keep it coming. In the meantime, I'm taking 3, then I take another 3, and I take another 3. So, or 4 actually, so that's 12 damage. It could put me at 5 just to set up for my opponent to take 7. Or we could reproach this Confessor if it blocks the Howling Golem. Sort of a free attack in that way. Let's see what the opponent does if I attack with the Howling Golem. And there's the Navigator Compass. Oh, sweet. If they don't block, we'll play Traxos. And then next turn we can untap it with Compass and have Gideon's Reproach available. And then the turn after that we can get the Compass back with the Guardians. And we'll have lots of good Traxos beats. If they do block, I think I'm using Gideon's Reproach on this Confessor, because it can save me a lot of damage. But I'm not playing the Compass. I want to save that for the Traxos. Then, if my opponent plays something big that does not fly, we can play Traxos and untap it right away. My God. Well then. Well, getting this back is no achievement. Neither is getting back a Howling Golem. If our opponent has some kind of murder, there is something to getting back a Traxos, but can they even untap it? I don't know that they can. So let's play the Traxos. I mean, we see that they have an Eldest Reborn, but how historic is their deck? If they get our Traxos, can they even use it? I don't think it's clear. Discard the land. Are you kidding me right now? Are you joking? All right, well, I've got the Memorial to Folly. The trick works in Standard, it will work in Draft. But are you joking right now? It's amazing. All right. Well, I don't want to discard any big creatures. I need to discard this land, so I'm not going to play it. So I'm going to pass the turn. Yeah, why am I not surprised? So I can't discard these creatures because my opponent will get them back with the Eldest Reborn. So do I discard the land or the compass? I think I'm going to drop off the land and hope I find another. Although, at that point, although the compass acts as mana sources, it's a really tough choice. I'm going to go with the compass, and I might hate myself later. I'll probably just have to play a Naked Guardians to untap my Traxos, and then hopefully we draw land and a Partick Wanderer. That's the biggest upside. Oh my god. This is absolutely insane. And this has got to be the god draw for this, right? Like, you can't do better than this, can you? I just don't think you can do better. I have to kill this now, or I'm just going to get Eldest Reborn again. And if I kill it, the Eldest Reborn gets it back. So I have to wait till this target. So I need instant speed. Okay. Does the job. Does the job. Can't complain too much. Our opponent will probably Eldest Reborn again, which is going to make me discard a card at some point. Yep, you got my Howling Golem, which does live through the Scripture explosion, so good choice. Freaking god. A freaking god of magic over here. Danitha, can you play? Okay, you need white mana if you're going to cast that. Our opponent does have one thing wrong with their draw. Why would they do that, though, instead of playing the Eldest Reborn again if they're about to lose their Disciple? I don't know. Comment in chat. Sorry, Twitch habits. Oh, I'm an idiot. Should have played this. Get this back. Oops. Oops myself. Sorry, first time ever having the opportunity to return a Phyrexian Scriptures to my hands with Guardians of Koilos. Jousting Lance. 2 mana, 3, +2/+0. As long as it's your turn, equipped creature has first strike. So, you're gonna hit me extra hard? Nope. Not even attacking. Yeah. Take that. Alright. Play the Wanderer, slam with the Traxos, right? I mean, this isn't 7. I hold this? I've had plenty of reasons to discard things. I think I will. The opponent's been Eldest Reborning me into oblivion. I wouldn't be surprised if they had 2 more. But let's begin the beatdown. Deep Freeze. On you. Oh, it's still an artifact though, right? Alright, we'll block here, save as much damage as possible. Our opponent just hoping we can't keep playing things. Guardians of Koilos can bring back the Partick Wanderer. Maybe this is all going to work out for me. Blood Tallow Candle, also untapped Traxos, but I think this is the play right now, because it will get our Wanderer back online the quickest. Down to 6. Let's play the Honor Guard. It is a 3-2 because we control our legendary creature, Traxos. Behold the combo. Ugh. It's a big old 4-5. I guess they can gangbang the Traxos now. But we have a way to mess with that in the Blood Tallow Candle. But who lit the Blood Tallow Candle? They say Black Flame Candle in the thing. This is hexproof. If they block with everybody, though, won't work. And the opponent's going to scoop it up. We could wait until blocks were declared, then take out the Arcanist. And wow, we survived 2 Eldest Reborns. Holy cow. Sure, why not? We have a 2 and a 3. We have a removal spell, and our big old Wanderer who finally made a case, tried to earn his spot last game. Although I still think a Compass would have been better. Oh my goodness. Skittering Surveyor, excellent. We can set up some blue mana. We don't even have cards in the deck that use double white, so it's totally fine to go get some blue. But we'll play the Trapper first, and then we can tap things. Attack. No Gideon's Reproach? I joke, of course. Hiya! So next turn, Folly, Surveyor for an island. See where it goes from there. Our opponent's on triple white, nothing. I do suspect a Gideon's Reproach, but I don't think we play around it. And with Memorial to Folly, we can always bring our Trapper back. Okay. Play Memorial to Folly. Play Skittering Surveyor. Take that action. Would be lovely to cast my Cloud Reader Sphinx one of these days. Now would be a great time for you to show up, Cloud Reader. Cloud Reader? The Familiar. Oh, that would be a fun one for my deck. Hand it over. All right. I guess if it blocks, I could Reproach it. We could do a bluff type attack, but I don't think so. I guess this is the bluff attack, but there's nothing to lose, so it's a very obvious bluff. Maybe I'm supposed to Reproach it and just keep smashing. Get 2 points in. If my opponent uses historic cards, we're gonna want that dead. All right, let's go for it. We need you dead, because next turn we have Wanderer, which can tap whatever the next thing is and get in another 5 damage, taking the opponent to 8. And then it should be very hard for them to mount an offensive, plus they have the 5/5 trample to deal with. Mono white, Guardians, okay. Wanderer. Slam. That's enough land though. Getting nervous. We dropped our opponent to 8 life. We have 8 lands, 5 spells. Our opponent finds black mana. They're not done yet. Can they get back in it? We do have the Memorial to Folly. I'm glad we drafted those. Memorial to Genius, Memorial to Follies highly. Oh, God. And then it all fell apart. Uh-huh. Well, being able to tap this to go through it isn't very good. It just keeps resetting. So how do I buy as much time as possible to fix the problem? If I attack with these and the opponent blocks one of them and kills them, the life gained is nasty. I guess I keep sending the Wanderer. But that's just breaking even. We're going to need the top of our deck to do a lot better than this. The flood's been way too real. We're still in it if we draw Blessed Light or something. Just not land. Blood Tallow Candle would be great. Yargle. That with a Sarah's wings, right? Mesa Unicorn, okay. And what do? You bounce a Skittering Surveyor. Is that any good? Really? Well, I suppose it's not nothing, and I should be grateful. So tap you. And bounce you. May as well get more land. And let's tap the Yargle. Take that action. Get another white. So what are the outs? Cloud Reader Sphinx can block for a turn. Candle can kill it. Antiquities War could find it. Phyrexian Scriptures would need 2 turns, so it's too late to only draw the Scriptures. We'd need something else as well. Blessed Light. Not looking good, friends. Not looking good at all. All right. Hit. Trading with the Unicorn's pretty bad for us, I think. I don't think it's good. So yeah, it's just you, the Wanderer, keeping things in range. And untap it. And we might just win to a 2-card we might just win. We might just lose to a 2-card combo here. Sarah's wings plus creature equal good. Our opponent has a Parodic Wanderer, and it's not the card. It is not the card. The only trick we have left is nothing. We can't even get anything with our poor poet. Yargle down. What an awkward draw. It's too bad. And that will bring an end to the draft. I feel mediocre about it. Our deck certainly did some cool things, and we had that win over the person who was rocking the Eldest Reborn. But overall, bit of a feels bad, but more wins than losses. 450 gems to add to the bank, and a pack of Dominaria. Let's see if it proves its worth. And trolling me always with the trolls. The card that beats me keeps showing up, and Halcyon Witness, unfortunately not a good card, and that's gonna do it. Love to end on a brighter note than that, but we'll get back to the free-to-play grinding, and I hope you enjoy some of the episodes of the free-to-play account, which I recently made easily viewable in public. They were public before, but you had to click on the Patreon feed specifically to see them, and now you can see them on the YouTube. So I hope you like those, and thanks as always for watching, and as always, I will see you in the next video. Have a wonderful day. Goodbye. My YouTube channel is proudly supported by HauntedFlower.com, shipping officially licensed apparel anywhere in the world, and now featuring Magic the Gathering apparel and accessories. If you use the promo code CGB at your checkout, you can save 10% on any order. That's the promo code CGB at checkout on HauntedFlower.com. That's HauntedFlower.com.